once we have now, you stabilize this and establish this, to that data is our bedrock on which we are going to build this. So what happens when you have this data? So our next is to build a smarter targeting. And as like Swati rightfully mentioned right now, that the AIs that are there on the platforms, like LinkedIn has their own predictive audience building capability. Google has its own lookalike audience. Meta has its own lookalike. Sorry, Google deprecated the lookalike, but Meta has their own lookalike audience. But your AI is only as good as the data you're feeding it. So the old way was the rule-based targeting, like wherein it was a blunt fishing net, wherein you said whoever is visiting my website, you show a display ad to them, or whoever has gone to my pricing page, just show this ad to them. You don't even know the person or know the ICP or what's the cohort looks like who are visiting your certain pages and taking some decisions over there, or making some intent, showing some intent over there. So this is where we move to a signal-based predictive audience, wherein we create the data first, we create those lead scored audiences, we create those lists inside HubSpot, tie it back to the ad platforms, and then ask the ad platform to, create the predictive audience based on that. There are two ways to do it. One is your best data already sits in your CRM. This is a very old saying, and people still don't use their CRM data 200%. Your best data sits in your CRM. Go there, do the lead scoring, and and feed that data in cohorts and lists to your ads, and create similar audiences on your ads. And the other one is like the new website visitors that you're getting, and that is where. So let me go back to the previous slide, and I think this also summarizes this point as well. Like if you see the HubSpot thing is where your CRM and your existing data sits, and RB2B is where, or the de-anonymization tools as they're calling it, is where they are helping you understand what the website visitors look like. And you as a founder, as a founding marketing team member or a marketing head, like you have to be very, very diligent in this, creating a very good, foundation for data, and then feeding it back to the ads. But this also brings us to like what happens then? Like why do we do it? And now we are moving to the first hook that we had, like the gap between the B2B and the B2C, and as I said, like that could have only been bridged by data. So now what I had mentioned earlier, like ads, the B2B ads have always been plain boring. Sorry for that, but yeah, it's the truth. Barring a few, it's always text heavy, same ad for everyone. I think only few brands have done justice to it. But now, what can we learn from the B2C? Like if we have done the data and we have the predictive audience, it makes sense to now go all guns out and do something that the B2C guys have been doing for a very long time, like emotion-driven ads, customer-driven ads, pain-driven ads. And I think I would again want Swati to chip in here because she has a very good, very unique transition of being a B2C marketing leader to a B2B marketing leader. And I think so, Swati, like in your experience, or how do you think can a SaaS founder or a B2B founder with a small budget can apply this aggressive mindset of a B2C marketer and scale their ads with the data they have right now? Like we'll go to the execution later, but what is the gap that you see right now that exists in these two, scenarios?
Sure, Neeraj. I think I just want to acknowledge that we're reading your questions, and I've gone through all the questions also. We'll be taking those up as well. But first, because Neeraj was talking around on this thread of how to basically think about ads, just the thought, the strategy, the structure. The thing is that when we make products, see, and that's the inherent difference. So it's not that we want to make boring ad, or anybody in B2B wants to make ads, which is very similar. We are creative when it comes to products. And most of our creativity goes there because it's the same set of people. When you start in a B2B kind of a setup, it's a smaller setup. It's not relatively a big setup. I mean, smaller teams, leaner models. And it's the people who are building that product together, giving ideas into it, and the same set of people then going out there. Usually in B2C, you have teams working together, not in silos, I would say, but yet there's a very different domain, like marketing team responsible, because there's so much of volume-based customer engagement that's happening there. And that's probably the reason. So what happens is when the creativity goes into the product, we want to talk about our product because there's a lot of effort. So we're all human beings. So I'm just first going into so like we shouldn't beat ourselves up why this is happening, because there's a proper reasoning for it. As human beings, we're very proud of our product and we put our heart, soul, energy, blood, sweat into it, which is not the case with B2C marketers. They get a product and they're excited and they know how to okay, we need to talk to a lot of people about it. Product guys are not doing the marketing. Here, that's not the case. Product guys do end up doing the sales, do end up doing the marketing because it's a smaller ecosystem now. So what happens is that we go into talking about how amazing and awesome is my product, right? So we go into the selling model like we sell movies. Like, okay, we talk about like a trailer and we tell you that here is this amazing product that we have, and we jump to the product, we jump to features, we talk about all the benefits, but we forget to acknowledge the customer there. So product marketing, it's very important that you acknowledge the customer. And now there's a simple, so to say, a template, and you can it's not even a playbook, I would say, but because it'll be very unique for all of your different products. So first is the pain point, the problem statement, then the solution, the social proof, and the CTA. So these three elements, I feel, are very important elements in an ad. So are we talking about the problem statement? Are we talking about that this problem statement, obviously your product is the solution, but what is the social proof that this is the solution? Because that's how our mind goes. Okay, so this is the problem. Yes, this is my problem. Oh, this product is solving for it. Why do I trust them? So the trust factor. So that needs to be built into the ads and make it relatable. I think because B2B selling tech, the B2B selling or tech B2B ecosystem, it's like not very old. It's like 2013-14 is when we saw the bubble happening around SaaS products and like subscription models coming in essentially, and now everything is subscription model. Subscription was introduced around 2010, 2012, and that time. So it's not age old, so to say, but there was a sense of professionalism and even to a certain extent elitism which was involved in marketing and selling of it, wherein two very working in this corporate like black suited people are meeting for a meeting, handshaking on like $1 million deal. So that mindset of being very professional and being very what's the right word for corporate-ish, that has not gone out.
I'll tell you the right word. B2B people take ourselves too seriously, I think.
Yes, yeah, serious, corporate, that, because it has flown down from our seniors. So see, like it or not, human beings, we learn, like we join in, and our seniors did it in a way, and they take pride in it, and hence it's passing down. Now, how many founders even like now the whole meetup ecosystem has become relaxed and you're wearing jeans and coming, but you still go to some of these older events and like have very professionally dressed. Now people are relaxing. It's happening. So that same flavor of easing it out needs to happen. So definitely you need to talk about the problem and pain point and social proof, what I gave you just now. But
I would like to
how
add
can you make it more relatable? Yes.
Sorry, but to cut you. Just like like to add one thing here. So having worked with founders like in B2B space, it's not like they're not aware of like these PaaS frameworks, and they're just in so much love with their product. Is that it comes from there that they don't want to even joke around with it or something. But I think what we are trying to figure out as a gap over here would be like, is there a gap in scale at which a B2B operates, and is there a gap in scale at which B2C operates, and also is there a gap in approach? For example, like so as I took the name of Swiggy and Zomato, the hyper personalization, or the amount of empathy they have in their ads, as you were also pitching like, customer focused ads. So probably I think, and that is the core problem we are trying to solve. Like, probably we don't even understand our customers so well that we can talk to them directly. So that's the one thing. So is there so what is that major gap that you're seeing over there? Like, is there a gap in scale as well, or just the communication?
I think both. So communication comes first because even if you're reaching out to like less number of people, or like you're not scaling it like in a great way, first you
Mhm.
need to get your communication right. And also, guys, having said that we need to ease out and make more relatable content. If you're targeting enterprise still in B2B does not wants to be very to the point, wants to be very professional, wants to be very boring. So you can stay boring if you're selling to enterprise. This would be this is something that I learned the hard way, but it's there. It's there. But if you're selling to startups, if you're selling to SMBs, if you're selling to somebody who's less than $100 million in ARR, then then be very very creative. Then be extra creative. If you're selling to $1 billion plus accounts, enterprise level, then scale back on the easiness and the vibrant colors. Stick to your grays and blues because that's what works there. Having said that, now talking about the scaling it up. So be it Zomato, Swiggy, I don't know how many that you guys are aware, but basically even on the product front, while working on products for B2C, which is say Netflix, or I work with Disney, for any particular movie that was launched or a series which was launched, there were millions and of combinations of posters that were released. And this is not even just for ads, this is just on the product itself to get the product engagement up. So basically, if I am more prone to watching action movies, that one action scene would make it to the poster to make sure that I have a higher chance to click on it and watch it. So that's the level of targeting personalization on content that happens, and the same follows through. So that they're doing it on the product, it's definitely happening in marketing. It's happening in an even greater way in marketing. So volume in terms of basically sending out your communication or your message in different styles and structures. Now, earlier it used to be very difficult because how do I put the pain point in different formats? Now with AI, it's become very easy. You can have negative hooks, you can have positive hooks. You can just tell, GPT to, if this is the problem statement, how do I make it relatable for this kind of audience? You can create your own projects. Just for ads, I have created a separate project on GPT whose that project's job is just to churn out uh, captions and
Yeah.
copies for the ad, the ads that go out. And a lot of input information goes into that project. A lot of input information like research, like ICP, like data, that not data as such, but ICP information gets fed onto it so that the hook is more relatable, the pain point is more relatable. So yeah, that's
Thanks for your answer, Swati.